Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Ahsoka series, the Book of Boba Fett, and more. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So once again my dear friends, we have quite a few tidbits to get through, and we're going to kick things off with a casting update for Ahsoka. This comes from The Hollywood Reporter, and they confirmed that Ray Stevenson has been cast in the show. They don't know which character he's going to be playing, but they do say he's going to be an Admiral, but not Thrawn. Thrawn is going to be played by Lars Mikkelsen, according to most sources. Now, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels, then you know that Ray Stevenson voiced Gar Saxon, but since he was shot dead by Ursa Wren in 2BBY, Stevenson will not be playing him, and instead a different character in the Ahsoka series. Some have said that he could be playing Saxon in flashbacks, especially given that Sabine Wren is going to be in this show. In bringing up the Darksaber, she could mention her duel with him, and we could see that iconic sequence from Star Wars Rebels in live action. But as I said, The Hollywood Reporter is adamant that he is going to be playing an Admiral of some kind. He's definitely got the features to be playing a strong, commanding figure, so I'm fascinated to see who. My personal guess is that he's going to be playing Gilad Pellaeon. Just a guess, but time will tell. But let me know who you think he's going to be playing in the comments down below. Now, we also have another update for the Ahsoka series, because filming has been pushed back from March to April, so only delayed by 1 month. Now, before you get worried, it's no big deal and doesn't affect anything, because this minor delay is simply due to The Mandalorian Season 3 needing 2 extra weeks to shoot. Production Weekly, who broke this news, also shared the working title for Ahsoka, and it's called Stormcrow. For all of you Lord of the Rings fans out there, you'll know that this is a reference to Gandalf, and this seemingly meaningless working title actually tells us a lot about what the series is going to be about. Many fans have noted that Ahsoka has a very Gandalf-like aesthetic in the Rebels finale, before her and Sabine Wren go off to search for Ezra and Grand Admiral Thrawn. And while we more or less knew that this search would be the premise of the Ahsoka series, especially after The Mandalorian Season 2, this working title more or less confirms it when you read between the lines, and Dave Filoni always said that he is going to explain that aesthetic at a future date, and it's going to be in the Ahsoka series. And speaking of Ahsoka, there is a lot of confusion timeline-wise. In the Rebels finale, they start their search for Thrawn. Then in The Mandalorian Season 2, she's on Corvus, trying to get info from Morgan Elsbeth on the whereabouts of Thrawn. And then in the Book of Boba Fett, she is briefly chilling out on the planet that Luke is building his academy on. So the question is, has she already begun her search, or is she about to? Dave Filoni once said that The Mandalorian Chapter 13 might actually take place before Ahsoka and Sabine unite at the end of Rebels, which makes the most sense, because that means that Ahsoka's appearances in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett take place before then, and so the search has not properly started. I am truly optimistic about the Ahsoka series. I think it's going to deliver something really special, and Dave Filoni, who not only created Ahsoka but a lot of the characters that we're likely to see, is the showrunner of the series. He understands his characters, how to treat them, and where their prospective storylines are going to lead. There are many questions we have about the show, but if any series is going to be a direct continuation from Star Wars Rebels, it's this one. Even the Ahsoka logo is directly taken from the Lothal temple ceiling. Some fans think it's the World Between Worlds, but it's actually the Lothal temple ceiling, even at its finest detail. So it'll be fascinating to see a live-action treatment of characters like Ezra, Sabine, and even Hera Syndulla. Recent rumours said that Vanessa Marshall did test screenings for a Disney Plus series, and considering the show goes into production in just under 2 months' time, Star Wars Ahsoka makes the most sense. So now my dear friends, we're going to move on and talk about the Book of Boba Fett. Ming-Na Wen teased a second season on Twitter before backtracking and saying that she called it Season 1 without much thought, and hasn't heard of any confirmation of a Season 2. But in either case, both her and Temuera Morrison have expressed a deep desire for another season, and I can definitely see their point. There is so much more Boba Fett story to tell, and now that the Pikes are dealt with, could another syndicate or multiple syndicates see it as their opportunity to try and take over Tatooine? I would just love to see Boba and our allies face a larger threat that's more menacing. And the fact that we now know that Cad Bane survived, he could be back and more vengeful than ever. There is also more of Boba's trauma that needs to be explored, something Temuera Morrison said that he was disappointed was not expanded upon, but that could happen in Season 2. And of course we got the massive tease at the end that Cobb Vanth is alive and might become Robo-Cobb after he's been modded up. and some folks have pointed out that the post-credit scene could be hinting at Rangers of the New Republic, which some outlets claim Lucasfilm want to transform into a series centered around Cobb Vanth. And at this point, I welcome it. He's become a household Star Wars name, a thrilling, cool as can be marshal, and certainly a character with one of the best hairstyles in the entire franchise. But whether it's his own show, the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, or even the Mandalorian Season 3, there is more that we're going to see of Marshal Cobb Vanth, which in my opinion is amazing news. Now, given how intertwined these Mandoverse shows are, even if we don't get an announcement for Season 2 anytime soon, we'll definitely see Boba and Fennec in the Mandalorian Season 3. Each of these major characters are going to appear in each other's series, and I think that's a great thing because it furthers the stories of each of them in an expansive way. And I think that means eventually the Mandoverse is going to lead to an Endgame style finale, probably in the form of a cinematic release in a few years' time. That will be what it all comes down to, but we're a bit far away right now. And that so-called Endgame event is probably also going to be the start of the creation of the First Order. I think the Imperial Remnant has way more strength than we realise, and I think we're going to start to see that play out in the next few seasons of The Mandalorian, and we all know what they're aiming to achieve. And speaking of which, my dear friends, Carl Weathers, who directed my all-time favourite episode of The Mandalorian, Chapter 12, has said that filming is going really well, and that Season 3 is going to be epic. I simply cannot wait. That man is a legend, and he is once again directing and starring in the upcoming third season. Grief Karga is a great character, and both in front of and behind the camera, Carl Weathers is incredible. And we also know that Bryce Dallas Howard is confirmed to direct as well. In my opinion, they should also get Steph Green, because her Star Wars debut, which was the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2, was in my opinion the best episode of the series, and I'd love to see what she can do in The Mandalorian. And so finally, my dear friends, just a bit of speculation. Is John Williams coming back to compose some more Star Wars? This is a really exciting piece of news, but could be a nothing burger. Even though John Williams said that The Rise of Skywalker was going to be his final composition for Star Wars, an Instagram post confirmed that just before his 90th birthday a few days ago, he was composing for a TV series in the same studio that he did The Rise of Skywalker in. Star Wars fans have their fingers crossed. Could he be recording some themes for an upcoming Star Wars project, or is it for something else? The poster also specified this is for a TV series, which kind of leaves it open-ended and ambiguous. I would absolutely love if John Williams composed for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. That would be the cherry on top. But I think that's kind of wishful thinking, and this could literally be for anything. But let me know your thoughts on this and everything else we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a huge welcome if you are, and also be sure to check out my second channel, Meg's Cantina, and my Patreon, which has so many videos that you can't find here on YouTube. The link is down there in the description. But otherwise, my dear friends, I'll see you in the next one. I'm Star Wars Meg. May the Force be with you always.